I told Andy I might be a little bit early, so.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Hermos. I'm just having a neighbor come in for a quick second. I'll be right.
Yes. Hey, Swati's here too. Frank, always good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Amos.
Was yesterday's session helpful? I know you got some love from a few people.
It was. I'm working on it.
Okay. We're all a work in progress, Frank.
Yeah. No,
We're all trying to get someplace.
Yeah,
right.
just 5 dials, Frank. Just five. That's it.
Hey, Swathi.
Good morning.
Morning. So this session is a little bit more of an open session than the planned craft ones. So usually we answer questions here. I mean, we could always talk about some strategies and stuff, but we'd have to open it up to the group here. Hi, Michelle.
Hi there.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? What are you struggling with? Michelle, is this your first time here?
No, I've been here a couple of times, just not consistently. So
Okay.
I've been traveling a bit. I was up in Michigan for a bit. Now I'm back in South Florida, and so just kind of getting myself recalibrated. I'm here to absorb the information. You guys have been fantastic so far, and I just really get a lot from the school group and from joining here when I can. I typically have a regular meeting also that is always on Thursdays. And so I just chose to not attend that one today and jump in here.
Well, thank you.
I hope we give you something, some kind of nugget, just to sort of make it clear that the whole quick win idea is more what is something that you is challenging or you need bounce an idea off in order to get a quick win. Every
Okay.
little win compounds into something bigger. And so we want to make ourselves available to give that little nudge or that one little grain of information or tactic that may spark a bigger result. So we don't really have an agenda for this half an hour. This is just like I said, a quick how do you do and how can we help?
Awesome. I wish I was more prepared.
Okay. I mean, there's stuff we can talk about too. But anybody else? Frank, Vicky, Angelina, Swathi?
So I just had something. So I'm a financial advisor with Prudential, right? And Prudential also gives us leads that we follow up on, and there are others in the office who make the calls. Sometimes we partner with, other advisors who will probably be doing the calls and then set the appointment for the senior advisor to do. Is that something that I can do with Planswell as well? Have someone else make the calls and set the appointment, or would you suggest that I make the calls and I set the appointments for myself?
See, Ermos is smiling already, saying, "This is yours, Andy." So the answer was that right, Ermos?
Yeah, well, I have an answer too, but I think it's gonna be the same as yours.
Okay, well, I'll give you my quick one. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. And in fact, it's almost advantageous in one respect, having somebody else call that doesn't know a whole bunch of financial stuff, because then the conversation can't go down that path to in the weeds, right?
Mm.
And at Planswell, I kind of engineered, spearheaded, introduced a program called Double Dragon, which is basically exactly that. You get a business development rep or a junior or just a person that is willing to make the dials. They follow the script. They have your Calendly link or your Zoom calendar or whatever, however you prefer to have that next
Right.
interaction, and they book it for you. And what's nice about that is one, they are going to stick to the script, hopefully,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And can almost kind of put you on a pedestal a little bit about,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'll be booking you with Swathi. She's a senior advisor, blah, 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 blah. You're lucky to be talking to her type of thing. And she can help you with all of those things that you talked about, or at least find out more about those to see how she might be able to help. And that totally works. What added to it, and I'm not suggesting that you do this necessarily, but the person who booked the call would actually show up
Right.
for the first minute or two of the call with you to do the handoff of rapport, right?
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
So, right. So imagine it's like, hey, hey, Ermos, it's Andy. We talked a few days ago. You said blah, 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 blah. Swathi and I sat down and talked about you. I just want to make sure I didn't get anything wrong, or that maybe did anything else pop up since we last talked? Yes,
Right.
no. Okay, well, look, Ermos, without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Swathi. You're in good hands, and I'll just be kind of in the background, or I might even dip off once you guys get the ball rolling. Does that sound okay, Ermos? Right? Ermos is going to say yeah, because I'm going to make it sound like that's what everybody else is happy with, and that
Yeah.
he's in good hands with you, and then boom, I jump off.
Yeah.
But now
Okay.
the transfer of rapport is instantaneous. It's like handing you the baton,
Right.
right? As opposed to you calling the person and never been introduced. Ermos, take this. I got to take this call quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would agree with Andy to point blank, I agree with Andy, but I also will caution for advisors who have not made calls,
Mm,
not necessarily plans about calls, just calls in general.
mm,
Okay, great. You don't like it. No one likes rejection, but I think it's good for the advisor to go down that path.
mm,
Get the phone hung up on, get the not so positive comments, because at least now you can you know exactly what your call is going through.
mm.
And when you're trying, like, who's going to train them? Like, like a Prudential, do they have a team of people that would train them on how to make phone calls? Or is it on you?
Yeah, I mean, Prudential has our own system, right? And so there is enough and more training going on there on an ongoing basis. But this would be something different. So I work with someone there who makes the calls for me with my Prudential leads. So this would be something that I would be training him on. I'd be telling him this, and share the script with him and have him make the calls. So he should be calling just like the first script and then booking an appointment.
Yeah, so I haven't seen Prudential script, but I've seen a lot of corporate scripts, and most of them are garbage. So I'm sorry to say that. So I hope you're using the script that Andy or Planswell gave you, because chances are it's going to be a lot better than the one from Prudential.
Well, I can't use the Prudential script for this. It's very different. I mean, that funnel is very different. So that script is different, and this will be exact only, Planswell script. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, it's not just the script itself, it's just the wording,
Yes.
how to keep them on the phone for a few seconds longer each time. It's all that stuff. It's not necessarily the script as in exactly what to say, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, I see a few more people popped on here. Vicky, Jordan, Kevin. We're just kind of fielding some questions right now. Kevin, you're usually pretty good for some questions.
I don't have any at the moment. I'm just getting
Wow.
back
Okay.
to the workflow from the holidays and all of that. So
Okay.
playing
Hey,
catch
guys.
up.
Nope, no problem. Listen, if somebody has a question, just pop your hand up. We just did another coaching session for another group, and we were talking about how to differentiate yourself as an advisor from every other advisor. And specifically, it revolved around retirement and the way we approach retirement. Just a couple of things that you can do. Well, I can tell you from my own experience. When I was when I was an advisor, when I was talking to my clients about when is the right time to retire, most advisors will just hit a number at 65 or whenever the company kind of gets rid of you, if it is actually 65. But, hypothetically speaking, let's say somebody, and I'm speaking in Canadian terms, we get taxed, like half our money disappears. In the US, you're not as bad. But imagine you're making $10,000 a year when your company pays you that $10,000 in January, they will deduct enough taxes as if you are on track to make $120,000 a year. So if you ended up working, or if you advise your client to end up working an extra 4 or 5 months, for instance, in going into the new year, or it could be the opposite. They may actually retire 4 or 5 months earlier. What happens is, because you're getting taxed as if you're making 120, but you only actually make 40 or 50, yes, you get a few extra $1,000 that year before you actually retire. But more importantly, when you do your taxes next year, you've overpaid. So now you're going to get a nice $15,000, $20,000 tax refund the next year. And you can paint that to your clients and or prospects as, hey, this is kind of free money. It kind of fell in our laps. And what would you do with an extra $20,000? And then you get in the talk. Oh my God, an extra $20,000. I would, take that dream trip to Italy, or I would take my grandkids to Disney World, or whatever it is. So what you're doing is you're associating yourself with that $20,000 savings. It's as if you magically created it. I mean, obviously it's your strategy, but the point is most advisors don't think in those terms. It's kind of like they retire at a certain date based on age or whatever. But if you can actually strategize and retire at a certain time, you can line up like government benefits, medical benefits. If they have a pension, you can bridge it better. Most advisors talk about retirement as a cliff, meaning you reach a certain date and then that's it. Like you go from working 40 hours a week for 45 years to all of a sudden nothing. When in reality, if somebody maybe doesn't like their job, they actually may want to ease into it. And maybe a few years before age 65 or whatever age that is, maybe they can start working part-time or 3 days a week or 4 days a week or whatever it is, and kind of ease into retirement. And there's a couple of reasons why this is important. One, it gets them used to having more spare time. Because I notice as an advisor, a lot of my clients in the beginning, until I figured this out, they actually went through depression. Because if you think about it, if somebody works for a company for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, well, most of their social stuff revolves around work people, right? And it keeps them busy. And a lot of their friends may be work colleagues. So now they reach a point, they're retired now, they can't go back to their colleagues because guess what? Their colleagues are still working. So they kind of lose that aspect, and they're no longer invited to the Christmas parties or the birthday parties monthly or whatever it is. So for a lot of people, they enter retirement and they actually go through a little bit of depression because they have so much time in their hands and they don't know what to do with it. So be the advisor that coaches your clients, not just financially, but psychologically. Like get them involved in the community or whatever they love. What do you love doing? I love, I don't know, helping out at the church, or I love helping the community, whatever. Get them to start volunteering, get them to start signing up for clubs, associations, or start pickleball, sports, whatever it is, before retirement. So that as they're approaching retirement and entering retirement, they're actually looking forward to it. They're not running away from something, they're running towards something. Now they get to golf more, they get to spend more time with the neighbors or the family or whatever it is. And I would even argue psychologically is more important than even financially. Because financially, you could always pull back, right? Maybe you just spend a little bit less. But psychologically, if people go into retirement and they have no plan and their entire day is basically sitting on the couch watching Netflix, I would argue that's not a life. Sorry, I said a lot there, but I'm not sure if you guys agree with me or you think I'm crazy.
Actually, there's another aspect to it also that I see a lot, and probably all do too. This is Vicky, is that if they've got a spouse, so let's say the spouse retired earlier or stays home, it is a huge adjustment because that spouse is used to doing what they want to do when they want to do it. And all of a sudden they've got someone at home now that is like there. And it can cause a lot of stress. And I see it all the time. And you're so right. They need to have their own. They don't need to think they're going to come home now and be there and be domineering, because it can cause problems in that marriage.
Well, Vicky, it's interesting. So, okay, you touched on something that I can add to my previous story. The reason I realized retirement sometimes was a problem was because two very dear clients to me did everything I asked them to do. They were awesome. They saved, they followed the plan, and they retired. And not joking, 6 months later, I get a phone call from the wife telling me they're getting divorced. And I'm like, what? Where did this come from? And then getting to talk to them, it started to make sense. I mean, think about it. As a married couple, and I'm talking averages, everyone's a little bit different, so I'm not gonna judge or generalize, but theoretically, how often do you spend like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with your spouse? It's usually vacations, right? So for 1 or 2 weeks, but you're out having fun, right? Dinners, parties, drinking, beaches, right? Um, and then now it's every day. So that little quirk, that little thing they do with their teeth that didn't bother you, and now you're listening to it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 1 week goes by, 2 weeks go by, a month goes by, 3 months go by. Same person, same room, same routine. I can see how people, I can see now how people get divorced in their 60s now. Whereas before, I thought that was just crazy. If you made the 65 in retirement, why would you get divorced now? But apparently, I don't know if it's actually 65, but I know that there is statistically, there is a greater chance that someone gets retired like in an older age than they are in younger age.
So
Because they,
Irmos, you just got married, so you know something to work towards, right?
there you go. Exactly. Yeah, so that was a great point, Vicky. Yeah. But again, it kind of all ties back to like they have to have some sort of purpose and some sort of meaning in the retirement. There's only so much TV you can watch before you start losing your mind. Okay, anybody else? Comments, questions? Is anyone using this kind of stuff in their conversations? Are you just basically, hey, here's a chart that gets you to age 65, and here's how much money you're gonna have. Yay, I'm a financial advisor. Michelle's smiling.
Yeah, we go through modules. Yeah, we go through different modules. That's one of the benefits, I guess, of working with myself and my team, that we have different modules that go through estate planning, questions that they should talk to their lawyer about, and we go through a whole module about, yeah, about keeping active and relationships after retirement, and activities and health, and yeah.
I love it. But do you help them though? So it's one thing that, and this could be another way as an advisor that you can add a huge value add that has nothing to do with financial planning, right? Like
Mhm.
ask them what they do. I like to play pickleball. Hey, here are 6 pickleball associations that are within a 10-minute drive of your house. Maybe you
Right.
should reach out to them, right? Like something like that.
Yeah, the one group in particular, working with the commissioner in the county, and so it's just been really nice getting everybody involved, and everybody's kind of, it's being supported by the whole county. And so it's, yeah, well, here's different activities that are going on at the library, and
Love it.
just, yeah, trying to give them because like you said, a lot of people don't have a sense of it, that they're going to even be bored for a second. They think it's going to be fantastic to sit around and do nothing, and it does. It leads to a lot of loneliness, and yeah. So I think it's important to go through those, and which of course then leads into long-term care needs. You know, so
That's great,
Yeah,
Michelle.
thank you.
if
Go
I could
ahead.
add on to that topic just a little bit, this is in food for thought for all of you, especially if you're posting, and if you're not posting somewhere, even LinkedIn is one of our main things. You should be, but the outreach, the things that you talk about, you need to have a catalog or library of things that you can talk about that are non-financial, right? That are reality, situational, that don't start with money. They start with emotions and situations and things that are personal to people. And then it can be backed up with the numbers, right? And so it's giving that information first about, you know, for example, the average person, or most people don't know, or surprisingly, most people don't know that it costs this much to get divorced, or this is how many years a person gets set back financially by divorce, but it doesn't have to be that way, or how to avoid divorce in the first place, or the top 10 emotional impacts of retirement, how to spot them, how to prevent them. It doesn't always have to be by numbers. And most postings from financial advisors is all about numbers and charts and stuff like that. And I hate to tell you this, you're boring, right? Nobody wants to read that stuff. They want to read stories that they can relate to. They want to have that feeling of agency and advocacy, right? That there's somebody that they're not alone, that somebody else gets them, that there's somebody that can understand exactly what they went through, right? And this is why we harp constantly on get a folder or an archive of stories of your clients, avatars that you can relate while you're telling stories or when you're sitting down with clients and being able to say, you know, Michelle, you and Don or whatever remind me very much of a couple that came to me 5 years ago. They were struggling with the same things, blah, blah, blah. This is what they were feeling, right? It was causing fights, blah, blah, blah. And this is what we did and how I helped. And this is where they are now, right? You've now painted this Cinderella story or whatever, Phoenix rising from the ashes that somebody now wants. And they're not tying it to you talking about some portfolios, returns, and $20 words, right? It's like, I feel it. I get it. That sounds like me. And it sounds like Andy's already helped somebody just like me. Why would I go somewhere else? This person already gets it, right? So we've got to, we say this all the time. You lead with emotion and you back it up with logic. Sorry, I went on a little tirade there, but
Okay.
I think it was topical.
The only thing I would add is the good news is it doesn't even have to be your story. You can borrow other people's stories and still get the same effect. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have any of those stories, that's okay. Start talking to other advisors and use their stories.
Can I interject? I don't mean to. You're hearing me talk more today. I haven't been
I love
gone
it.
for so long. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back at all. I'm just trying to catch up like some others too. But I've been doing a weekly episode on social media for over a year to build up an audience. And the theme has been thriving through transitions. That's my niche, is people going through transitions. And I could probably niche down even more, but it seems so. Something that I have a VA that works for me a half 20 hours a week. And she sent me an article recently and it really hit home. And so I was going to tell you what I just saw. It was an article she saw that was entitled 2026 is off to a bad start, mass layoffs announced. Okay. And layoffs are even going through that as a transition that a lot of people worry about and go through. And so I use ChatGPT Pro a lot, a whole lot. And it has my profile and all of that. And so I'm trying to come up with my next series. And this has been on my mind. And before I became an advisor, my husband, who's my business partner, and I went through a lot of layoffs. And so we can relate to it. And even being in there worried that you're going to be the next one and you see your friends being laid off or
There you go.
going through layoffs. So I decided just follow
Right.
up before I hopped on here
Do
to
it.
make that
Yeah.
something to where I could relate to it because I know what people go through and it's part of transitions too.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
not gonna
great
have-
point.
It's not not going to have a number about it. It's just getting people to realize that, it's real and it's so important. And being laid off is, that's just it's terrifying. I mean, it's horrible.
It is, and to back up what you just said, Ermos had posted about 4 months ago, 3 months in CAA, which is why it's really important for you guys to browse around in there. Basically exactly what to post in social media, predominantly LinkedIn, and one of you did. I think her name was Uchechi, I'm not pronouncing it right. And her post went viral. She got like 250,000 impressions. And her problem then became when she came to us was, how do I respond to all these people that want to talk to me? Right. And it was about the government layoffs. Right. Animals can speak better to it than I, but it's these things, guys, that they really do work and people are watching and certain things really strike a chord and they're more about because all she did was she made up a story about a friend of hers who's a government employee who just got laid off. Obviously, in the reality, that was a true story. That happened to somebody. But she just made up that friend and it went crazy, right? Everybody's capable of doing that. And she had no idea what she was doing. All she did was copy and paste exactly what Ermo said to do. So the reason I'm saying this is we are definitely noticing in CAA that we have 500, almost 600 members now, and a very small number actually go in and do things or participate. But there's so much value there. And what's interesting is our CAA Plus members, they show up for everything. They try everything because they're not thinking about it. They know the value of it. And because they're paying for that advice and being part of that community, they're invested, right? I understand you guys aren't there in that group, but still, I don't want to underscore the value that is in the community there and posting and asking questions. That's what it's there for, right? And Ermos and I monitor that stuff. So we do appreciate you guys coming. And Kevin can probably attest, and Juan Carlos, that this group is slowly getting bigger and bigger. So people are catching on now, right? Jordan's come a couple times. So we really appreciate that.
It's hard to value something when it's free. That's just a fact. That's
Yeah.
okay. I believe what Andy was saying wasn't necessarily to join Plus, was to take advantage of even the free version,
Yes.
is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And us. I can't remember the last time I actually got a question asked of me inside the community. That's another thing you guys can do to reach out to us. Like if you have a burning question, you just got an objection, you don't know how to handle it, just start a new thread in the community, and Andy and I will be all over it.
As will other people. Actually, the CAA Plus members are pretty good at posting in CAA as well, because they get the whole idea of paying it forward and community, and we all raise the ship, the level of the ship together, right? And that's the whole spirit of CAA and CAA Plus. But thank you, Ermos, for clarifying that I wasn't trying to give like a shameless plug to CAA Plus. It was the point of take advantage of stuff that's free, right?
Yeah. All right, guys, we still have a couple minutes, and then I'm heading out for dinner because I'm in a
1 minute.
different time
I've got
zone.
an appointment too.
Yeah. Any questions?
Anybody want a last minute thing or?
I had a
Last
question
minute
in
thing.
the
Oh,
chat,
go ahead.
but I will ask my question
Go ahead.
in school
Oh,
because I
okay.
do have to drop as well. So I'll just take my question and I'll put it in school.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
Thank you. I did hear
Thank you
reports.
all.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
whoever else was trying to get a question in there, do the same thing. Just post your question in school. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Sorry,
guys.
Kevin, were you going to ask something or you went? Nope, Kevin.
It was
All right.
me. It was me.
Oh, did you have a
I'll
question,
post it.
Jordan?
Yeah, I can post it in school.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
Thank
We'll see you
you.
at the next thing. Ciao.